have sound? We have sound. Excellent.
Hello.
So we play text adventures.
What's up, parser people?
So today we are going to play The Weight of a Soul, which is we played the most recent spring things best in show winner 2 streams ago, however many weeks ago that was, and this was last year's one of the best in show winners. This is the first game that we both have actually played all the way through, so hopefully this will go a little bit quicker than normal.
That's cute. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I've drank a lot of gin between then and now.
Well, I am living off the dregs of my coffee pot, so we are rocking and rolling. So this is a parser game. It is by Chin Kee Yong, and it is in a sort of not steampunky. I don't know exactly how to describe the exact world.
I would call something like gas punk.
Yeah, gas punk. But there's magic involved. It's a really awesome setting, and that's one of the things that I really loved about it beyond sort of the fact that it's, a very well written parser game and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts from your memory of playing through this, Jerem?
So I played this. I was into this actually before it was cool, just so you know. I played the intro release of this in the, I want to say it was like 2018, Back Garden. Back Garden is the spring thing category for works which are not quite finished or polished enough to enter into the main comp, but are cooked enough to deserve some eyes. And I was impressed with it even then. If I remember correctly, it was more or less just the opening sequence, which, as we will see in a minute, is just kind of a masterpiece of, like, action to bring you into the world. And then when I played it again in 2021, when we were all losing our goddamn minds, I was even more impressed. There is a lot of technical finesse that went into this that I think I won't say goes unremarked on, because pretty much all of the reviews will mention it, but it's one of those great things, like, a really good face of makeup is one where you can't tell that you're wearing makeup, right? And the implementation on this is so sophisticated and smooth that you don't even notice it half the time. And that is the highest compliment that you can give one of these things, frankly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's get started on it. It's I was checking the reviews, and it says that it's a 4 to 6 hour game. I remember it being a little bit shorter than that, but I also played it over the course of like 4 or 5 days. So maybe I did not count how many times I went around in circles.
Yeah, it's a pretty expansive one. I don't recall the puzzles being too difficult, and I'm pretty sure there's a diegetic hit to his system. But we'll see how it works. If this turns into a two-parter, I won't be fussed.
Oh no. And I mean it's I remember one puzzle in particular that was just me not doing puzzles well. Like, you had to, it literally gave you the verb, and I just refused to use that verb.
Pretty rough. All right, before we get started, real quick, speaking of action entry scenes that draw you into the world, my partner found out that I had never seen The Rock 1996 and showed me The Rock 1996, and now all I ever want to do is watch or talk about The Rock 1996 forever. It is the perfect movie. Please go watch The Rock 1996. This concludes the film criticism portion of our program.
have no words.
The winner goes home and fucks the prom queen, Doug.
To be fair, I have not seen The Rock in a really long time.
It's a perfect movie!
I've got lots of recommendations for things that are like heady and interesting, and you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna put on The Rock.
And on that note, let's go save some lives.
Yeah, let's go save some lives. So I have bad news. We're in a surgery room. Too fast. It all happened too fast.
You're not displaying on the screen, my love.
I will be in a second.
Oh, my apologies.
But I should not be capturing cursor. Why am I capturing the cursor? Professional streamers. At least I'm confident that I am at least broadcasting. The worst. All right. Too fast. It all happened too fast. He was healthy not a day before, so he said when he stumbled into the clinic just minutes ago. You should have seen the signs. The shivers, the black stains around his eyes. But the shadows were long in the hour of night, and in the darkness you couldn't see. You couldn't see. The vomiting came first, and then the weakness of the knees. You barely caught him as he keeled over you. Dr. Kavala seized him before you were crushed by his weight. "The surgery room!" she shouted, and together you half-carried, half-dragged the goblin to the gurney and strapped him down. You hid behind the protection of your surgical mask, adjusted the lights as you had been drilled. Thoughts flitted across your mind. Flitting. "I've never operated on a goblin before," you said, trying to conceal the panic in your voice. I did, in a way, on the collegiate cadavers, but... Steady, girl. Dr. Kavala snaps on her gloves and squeezes your shoulder. "Remember your training. I need your help. Are you with me?" You take a deep breath. "I'm with you, doctor." I remember when you sent me this, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'm not like up for this, and immediately I was like, okay, no, I'm down. Like, we have goblins, we have all like just the little bit of characterization you get here was like so intriguing to me.
Yeah, the writing is really excellent. There's a really strong narrator voice in a way that you don't, I won't say often don't get, but our protagonist here is a very distinct character that we are playing, not sort of a blank face that we are imposing ourselves on, as we did with Conrad.
Yeah, although maybe it's just the way that I read, like a lot of the maybe it's just what I like in a first person character. Like I feel you get a lot in IF, this kind of like unsteady, like, oh, I'm not sure how to like move forward with this or something like that. Which I don't know, maybe that's just like me finding characters that I like, because like Conrad had that. He was kind of an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Conrad was a special kind of idiot. That's fine. It was actually, come to think of it, it was almost like a LucasArts game kind of idiot.
Oh, that's a very good comparison. We should do a comedic take on the fourth wall breaking player agency thing, except Guybrush.
I actually have never played any of the Monkey Islands. I take that back. I played one literally in middle school. They had it on one of the computers in the computer lab.
Yeah, it's about the right age for the LucasArts bug to bite.
But I watched a stream of, I forget even who it was of it, and I was really shocked that it, because I'm so used to like, especially point and clicks not having like the best writing. I was like, oh no, I get why this is good.
Golden Age. All right, so what's up with this goblin?
Oh, still more. Good. She nods. Try to keep up. There we go. Now we have the title screen. The Weight of a Soul. It's a study of the Ars Vitalis by Chin Kee Yong. I am apparently playing the Spring Thing 2021 release. There might be a more recent one, but I wouldn't know the difference. Their website has a bunch of interesting things in it. And so I would totally suggest taking a look at some of the games that they put together. So, we're in a surgery room. You are in a cold, cylindrical chamber thrown into sharp focus by hovering surgical lamps. Shelves of vials and medical supplies crowd around you, leaving little room to misstep. A shimmering calomel curtain frames the exit to the south. The patient, Redden, he shudders against his straps on the gurney, black blood streaming from his eyes and mouth, even as Dr. Kavala fights to isolate the infection. Eyes sharp, Married, she says. I'm going to need your help in a moment. Got it, you reply. So, I do like that this has a list of commands, and I checked it out, but I actually really like looking at the help in general just to see if there's anything that's super missing. So let's check out a help really quick.
Always.
And we have a pretty in-depth help command. So we have the list of commands. Let's do about this game. I'm not going to read all of this. I do hope that the premium edition comes out. I haven't seen it. I've poked around a little bit to try and find it. But the premium edition would have like art and a modern user interface. That's kind of interesting.
Look, how do you get better than a parser? Come on.
Pictures.
Bullshit.
So I think yeah, okay. So the how to play is pretty straightforward. It's definitely, and this is something that I really like about a lot of the better games that we play. They actually don't, even though like it's kind of, you know, one of the things that I've heard as maybe a criticism is that it's like 20 people writing, or 100 people writing for the same 100 people who all love interactive fiction. I do love
Fair.
that like the better ones treat you as if you have never heard of it before. And also it's nice to see, okay, here's how dialogue works. Press the number. Which having now played a lot of Infocom games and never getting the talking commands straight, I kind of appreciate at this point.
Yeah, I really love dialogue trees. I don't really understand why a lot of IS don't just use dialogue trees as the dialogue mechanic. There are so many different. Yeah, okay, you can find fun Easter eggs. You know, say Zizzy to Gnome or whatever. But By and large, if you want your players to have a good experience, which is what the whole thing about game crafting kind of is, maybe just make it easy for them.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think too, like, there's so many times, and this has happened in like other freeform games, where like, yeah, I totally forgot about this thing that my character would know, and my character would remember to say or ask about, especially in this game, which like is a bit of like an investigation kind of game. It's like Columbo's never like searching for something.
Just one more thing.
Um, let's see, what do we got? We got a journal. So this is something that I really love about this, is that it has this journal to keep you on track, which is really helpful when I was playing like across days and like put it down for 2 days and came back and was like, what am I supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah,
So
I can't even imagine the amount of work that went into the back end on this. I am not a coder. I've never written an IF, but I know enough about this kind of crap to just enough to be dangerous, and I know enough to say authoritatively, this shit's complicated on the back end.
and I love that it's also like a good way to do some of this world building, you know. So it's the third of Aquaria, Auratum the fourth. Oh, Primes, he's only inches away from dying on the gurney. His life is in Dr. Kavala's hands, in my hands, and I barely even know his name. I thought it would be a slow day at the clinic. Nothing could have prepared me for this. What do I do? What do I do?
Let's stop looking at the help docs and go save this goblin's life.
But the goblin, it's a goblin. It's fine.
Don't be racist, Doug.
We have characters. Oh, we do have a map. I forgot about the map.
Oh yeah, one of the primary things that I remember very distinctly about this game, and for those who are just joining us, Doug and I were discussing about how we both played this a year ago, and that was about 20 years ago, really. But what I do remember is the really beautiful, not just world building in the fictional sense, but the tactile, physical act of the map building. It's masterfully done, and we will see it in a moment.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think, and
Yeah, look at that fallen London ass shit. It's real
yeah,
good.
right. And it's good too because yeah, everything. This is the entire map. There's a couple of like subsections in here, a few places, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward.
Our character would know that. Our character would know how to get around the town that she lives in.
All right, let's get back down a little bit. Here we go. So that's cool. Gives us a list of places. We're not looking at hints. Acknowledgements. Thank you to everybody here. I'm not going to read it all. Just very, very cool. All right, let's actually help this man, this poor goblin.
We took an oath, Douglas.
A convulsion. Dr. Kavala takes a step back as the gurney creaks. We need to sedate the patient, she says, or we'll never get anything done. Merritt, get the soporific from the shelves. I'm going to take a look at his eyes. You glance up at the shelves ringing in the surgery room. So, look, shelves.
First steps, X self inventory Zizzy.
X-Self, you feel alert and well. On edge, perhaps, but that's nothing unusual considering the circumstances. You are wearing your Natron jacket, your clothes, an animus pendant containing the spirit of your father, and a surgical mask. On your person are your practitioner's badge, your scalpel, your purse, and an antiseptic cloth. Massive internal bleeding, she mutters. Inventory. Got the inventory. Unnerving. I've never seen anything like it. Dr. Cavalli shakes her head before glancing to you. Merritt, did you find the soporific? Give it to me. X, Y, Z, Z, Y. This is not the time, Julie.
Fair enough.
All right, now can I look at the shelves?
Yes, please.
Nestled among the medical supplies, you spy an inhaler labeled Air Vivicons, and an inhaler labeled Air Soporifer. The soporific, Merritt, Dr. Cavalli presses. Give it to me. Take... Can I just say take soporific?
Yes. I feel like they'll be too easy, but let's give it a shot.
You tiptoe, grab the inhaler, press the device into Dr. Cavalli's waiting palm. She shakes it experimentally and nods at you before raising the inhaler to Redden's lips with a hiss. The goblin's pupils begin to dilate. Easy now, Dr. Cavalli mutters. His head bucks violently. Dr. Cavalli drops the inhaler and the bulb shatters all over the floor. Primes, she hisses. Merritt, can you get me another dose? Oh, okay. Okay. Let's look around. That was the last one, you yell back, trying not to breathe in any of the fumes. Fine, Dr. Cavalli says. We'll do this without anesthetic, one way or another. She squints at Redden's body. Merritt, get me the stethoscope. Where is it? Dr. Cavalli's answer is drowned out by another round of coughing from the patient. All right, let's look back at the shelves. You find nothing useful on the shelves, well stocked though they are. Doctor, I don't know where the stethoscope is. The gurney, there, hanging from the side. I can't reach it from here. Look, gurney? You look behind the gurney, and there it is, a stethoscope reclining snake-like on its hook. Dr. Cavalli looks up from her work, irritated. Have you found it yet? I found it. Good. Give it to me. Take stethoscope. Stethoscope. You carefully unwind the stethoscope and toss it to Dr. Cavalli, who catches it with a practiced hand. Took you long enough, but it was... You pressed. Hush. Dr. Cavalli pushes the device against Redden's chest and lowers her ear to the ausculting dish. I'm trying to listen. Wait?
I guess we just wait, yeah.
Blood continues to run down the goblin's lips, and you hurry over to dab it away before it touches Dr. Cavalli's face. At last she rises, her face grim. What did you hear, Doctor? You ask. Nothing good, she replies. I fear we may be too late, but there is one last thing we can try. She pauses. Have you ever heard of the breath of Catholicon? You frown. I thought that was a myth. Check the shelves again, and be quick about it. I guess look shelves. The breath of Catholicon. Could it really be here, hidden among this detritus? You glance around the crowded supplies, but nothing catches your eye, not yet. What would such a thing even look like? You protest. Dr. Cavalli moves as if to speak, but then there is another coughing fit from Redden, and she curses and adjusts the straps. You shake your head and turn back to the shelves.
Can we try search shelves?
Sure. Curatives, laxatives, poisons, panaceas. Blades of every shape and size? No, none of them. It is an inhaler, she says finally, labeled in the old language. It cost me a great deal to acquire. There is no mirth in her voice, and for a moment you're at a loss for words.
Search shelves again?
Yeah, keep searching. And I love this, that it's so, like, not situational, but just this kind of, like, chaining of commands to be like, yeah, you're just gonna, like, look at the shelves again. And
This is what I mean when I say this is a masterfully crafted action segment. I am sure there's a way we can let the goblin die. We're not going to because we're doctors, but
yeah, of course. I think I let the goblin die. Rows and rows of strange tools, tubes, vials, beakers, inhalers. Inhalers? There's another convulsion from the patient, but with less vigor than before. Much less. He's falling apart, Dr. Kavala says in a low voice. Don't hesitate, Merritt. Get me the Catholicon. I'm just going to try take Catholicon. Can't see anything like that at the moment. Keep searching the shelves.
Can we just try to get inhaler?
So this is, I think, where, like, I wouldn't even call it error text, but just the, hey, you're not doing the right thing text does really, really well.
Very generous, yeah. Hey!
You blink. Nestled among the medical supplies, you spy an inhaler labeled Halitus Catholicanus. Dr. Cavallo curses as she fumbles with the gurney mechanisms.
That's what they call it when a priest has bad breath. Come on, nothing? That was funny.
Catholicanus. That is literally how I muted myself. Come on now. The Halitus whirls within its glass cage as you lower it from the shelves. It billows as Dr. Kavala bears the inhaler to Redden's blood-soaked lips. She breaks the seal, and in the bulb it spirals round and round, the dance of exhalation. And it is within him. His breath is stolen away. His irises flare with the light of catharsis. He flails against the gurney straps as though puppeted by invisible hands. Dr. Kavala, you ask? You look to her, and her eyes are as wide as yours. I'm going to examine the goblin. That sound like a good plan?
Yeah.
Hold. There's a sudden quiet, a moment when the surgical lights flicker and time itself seems to slow. For an instant, something brilliant swims at the edges of your vision. Redden's eyes close. The moment passes. Dr. Kavala seizes him, shouting. But the goblin is unresponsive. She checks his pulse. She produces a needle, lines up an injection. The needle withdraws empty, stained with foul black effluvium. But he does not awaken. Seconds pass. A minute. Finally, she stands silent, her breathing level. She takes off her mask and sets it on the operating table with an air of grim finality. Whoop. Do
Well,
you
we're
have
definitely taking off our mask. No, no, no.
there's anything we have been taught. Um yeah, do we want to try and be badasses, or do we want to be a normal person?
Let's nurture our humanity for the moment. There will be plenty of opportunities to lose it in the future.
Awesome. I'm sorry. Your voice is a whisper. Dr. Cavallo shakes her head. Don't apologize, Merritt. We did all we could. But it's out of our hands now. We have If Only, the Catholicon. What was that? At the moment he died, I had a strange vision. And what happens next? I kind of want to ask about the Catholicon.
Yeah, I am a real sucker for xenotheology. And yeah, I wouldn't know all the, like what is going on with this wackadoo religion here.
Yeah. The Catholicon. You glance at Redden, half expecting to see white fire in his eyes and suppress a shudder. The Catholicon, Doctor. What was that? Dr. Cavallo takes the empty inhaler out of her pocket. She looks pensively into the glass and holds it up to light where it shines. The catharsis, she says quietly. The purging of the soul. It is the most destructive of all remedies, and the most irreversible once administered. But remember this, Merritt. Sometimes a thing must be destroyed before it can be built anew. She turns to regard the body on the gurney, so frail and gentle in death, and sighs. It was his only chance, she says. He was probably going to die either way, but I'm sorry you had to see that, Merritt. I really am. Ask about the strange vision?
Definitely. Also, if we're not used to seeing people die, we're in the wrong line of work.
Well, I think watching someone's soul be destroyed is a little different than just dying. Although, I mean, it's a clinic. They probably just deal with, like, setting broken bones and stuff. At the moment he died, I had a strange vision. It was... You try to recall the strange sensation you experienced, but it fragments and swims away, and lingers at the edge of your consciousness where you can find no purchase. What words could describe that weightless moment? It was, you flounder, it was... Dr. Cavallo watches you intently. Strange sights are not uncommon at the moment of death, Merritt, especially when the animus escapes untethered. You studied such reactions in the physician's college, did you not? This was different, you insist. It's been a long day, she replies. Take a moment to collect your thoughts. Talk to me again when you are certain. You lower
So we're
your
kind of
eyes.
force sensitive.
Yeah. You lower your eyes. Yes, doctor. We are not taking off our surgical mask. What happens next? What happens next? You can begin by taking off your mask, she reminds you. We won't be operating on a cadaver anytime soon. You sigh and pull off your mask. But what happens next? It's a unique situation, to be sure. Dr. Cavallo takes the mask from you and begins to pace around the gurney. For any other disease, our course would be straightforward. Log the death, inform the family, check for symptoms, do our best to contain the contagion. Easier said than done, but at least it would be straightforward. Now, Redden has died of an illness I can't identify, and I've seen a lot of illnesses, Merritt. She studies her gloved hands, stained black with blood. In the morning, I will reference the alchemical library of fluids and contact my colleagues for help. But we must be prepared for the possibility that we are dealing with an unknown affliction. For now, we proceed with caution. She gives you a curt nod. After you clean up the surgery room, Merritt, you may retire for the night. You've been a good assistant. As for myself, I will begin on the paperwork and on the task of moving the body to the mortuary. I'm just going to say that we're going to ask if we can help. We're going to play, if we're going to play as like sweet, good-natured for the first time, probably the entire time we have played a game.
No asshole runs here.
Can I help, you ask? Dr. Cavallo smiles and shakes her head. I appreciate the sentiment, Merritt, but you've seen and done more than enough for one night. Take my advice and get some rest. You'll need it for tomorrow. Yes, Doctor. See that it's done. Dr. Cavallo hands her tools to you and leaves to dispose of the soiled surgical mass. The next half hour is spent in simple work, the comforting tedium of cleaning, sterilizing, organizing. Soon the surgery room is pristine and unblemished. You wash your hands, switch off the lamps, and look to the calomel curtain to the south. It's time to go home. Do you know what calomel means?
I just Googled it. It is a kind of mercury chloride. Soft, heavy, white, odorless, and tasteless. Just like me. Formed by the alteration of mercury minerals. It does not appear to be any kind of curtain.
Cool. The curtain decontaminates objects that pass through it. So, yeah, let's go south. Fine. Let's just go south.
Sure.
A wave of warmth washes over you as you step through the calomel curtain. We're in the clinic. Dr. Cavallo's clinic is a small, unostentatious affair, neatly organized with little in the way of decoration. A row of chairs faces the prescription counter where the medication and patient records are sorted in grid-like pigeonholes. Further on is the consulting study, home to a desk strewn with notes and diagrams. A calomel curtain leads north to the surgery room, stairs lead down to the mortuary, and the front door leads east. Dr. Cavallo is at her desk, engrossed in paperwork. As you emerge from the surgery room, she glances up and gives you a nod.
Let's check out the doctor.
We've been doing this long enough that we're on the same page. You came to know Dr. Cavallo when she served with Lumina's volunteers during the Troubles. Her clinic was your first choice for apprenticeship when you graduated. Since then, you've watched her drag more than a few souls kicking from the brink of death. And they won't be the last, not if she has anything to say about it. Dr. Cavallo is a dark-skinned surgeon in her early 40s, sharp and regal of bearing. Right now, she appears to be filling out a census report for Redden's death. Can we read the report over her shoulder?
Yeah, I want to check out that desk. I want to check out that desk real bad.
The report is certificates of death, administrative letters, and other formalities that Dr. Cavallo is obliged to entertain. The desk itself, Dr. Cavallo's notes are laid out in neat stacks. Cool.
Can we read the notes?
Studies of human, goblin, and mutant anatomy. Musings on possible contagion vectors. Comparisons between ailments with similar symptoms. Okay.
Do you think they have a school?
Yes, there is a school, and we can go to it.
For the mutants?
Oh. I don't remember actually refusing to engage with that. I don't know if you see any mutants. I know you meet goblins.
As a writer, I myself, there is no way that I would seed the honeypot that we could meet a mutant and then not have our PC meet a mutant. Come on.
It's true. It's true. think if we go down, she's just going to tell us to leave.
What if we want to look at the body?
Let's go look at the body. You've seen enough dead bodies for one day. Fair. All right, let's get out of here.
Let's go home.
Good night, Dr. Kavala, you say. Good night, Merid. Don't stay up too late. First, opening the front door of the clinic, closing the door behind you. And we are on the Via Terminalis on the west end. You stand in the terminus of the Via Terminalis, a cul-de-sac of steel spires and buildings aspiring to the heavens. Night has fallen, broken only by the ghostly glow of bound animi in the street lamps and shop windows. Beyond, you can see the great spine of the Channelworks district, receding from the lamplight into the beginnings of rain. The white cross of Dr. Kavala's clinic is to the west, and the dormitory block where you live lies to the north. The rest of the district can wait until tomorrow.
Man, I don't know Chin Kee Yong, but I'm gonna guess they've read some China Mieville.
And I'm going to take advantage. If the game is telling me to save, maybe I should save.
Probably not a bad idea. Can we die in this game? I'm pretty sure there are some bad endings.
Maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's go to our dorms. You've walked the grounds of this 3-story estate long enough to know it by heart. Here's the faded arch with its years of verdigris. Here are the 2 small atrium and the fountain at its center. All around above are the lights of innumerable domiciles, linked by crumbling stairs and divided by flimsy plaster walls. From here, you can go up to your dormitory room, visit the public house to the west, or exit the building to the south. An old woman sits at the base of the fountain, feeding pigeons that wing down from the sky above.
Okay, so clearly we need to talk to the lady. Can we look at the pigeons, though?
Yes. Actually, we absolutely can look at the pigeons. They are white and black and every shade of gray. Okay.
Sounds like a pigeon to me. So talk to the lady, I guess?
Yeah, let's talk to the lady. You recognize her as a fellow dormitory resident, having passed by her once or twice in the wash house. She's feeding the pigeons breadcrumbs from the basket in her lap. As you approach, the old woman looks up and smiles. Hello, Merid, she says. It is Merid, isn't it? If it's nice to meet you too, ma'am. Have we met before? Sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. No asshole run. So
I was just about to suggest kicking her over and stealing her basket.
No, we're good people for this run. We're trying to save the town.
All right, fine. Let's be nice to the lady.
So do you want to just be like polite, or do you want to be weird and creepy?
I guess if we're doing good girl run, we'll be polite.
All right. It's nice to meet you too, ma'am. And so polite, the old woman laughs. Everyone here knows your name, of course. You're the doctor's assistant, are you not? And I hear you live all by yourself in this dormitory. Poor girl. But I'm sure you don't need my pity. As I know your name, it's only fair that you know mine. My name is Saliunka. Living by myself isn't that bad. Do you feed the pigeons often?
Oh, that's the option I'm going for.
Yep, okay. You
Hey,
gesture
babe.
at the flock surrounding her. Do you feed the pigeons often? Selyunka crackles. Feed them? She says. I suppose you could say that in a way. Yes, I feed them, but if you think I harbor any love for the pigeons, you would be quite mistaken. I'm poisoning the pigeons, you see, love. Feeding them poison. So our choices are poison? Then you're killing them. But why would you do something like that?
Maybe she's a big Tom Lehrer fan.
I mean, we already have elements.
Let's ask her why. We're in the spirit of inquisitive and curious nature.
Sounds good. But why would you do something like that? Selyunka shakes her head sadly. Oh, Mary, don't you see? The pigeons are infesting the dormitory. All over the atrium they are, and even in some of the ground floor domiciles. You never even noticed? I live on the 3rd floor, you admit. Then you haven't noticed, she sighs. The pigeons are everywhere, love. A great nuisance they are making, stealing food, leaving their droppings about. And that's why their numbers have to be culled.
Oh no, it's a metaphor for the plague!
For some peace, Merritt. For some peace. You understand, don't you? I suppose you are right. I don't believe that for a second. But killing them... The corpses will litter the ground. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. So, we have 5 choices here. I'm going to say I don't... Alright, I'm going to narrow this down to 2. Do we not believe that for a second? Or do we want to be a little weird and be like, the corpses? Oh no. I believe I've lost J-Ram. I have.
Channeling the spirit of Antigone fun, as I do at every available opportunity. I would recommend number 4.
Awesome. The corpses, you shake your head. The corpses will litter the ground. Selyunka grimaces. Yes, they will. The atrium will be rather unpleasant for a while. That's the cost of it, Merritt. But you must see it's something that has to be done. Even more choices. I suppose you're right. Oh, it's all the other ones.
Yeah. And this is why dialogue trees are not only a great player experience for dialogue choices, but also extremely useful if you're a lazy writer, as I am.
Yes.
Okay, so do we agree that genocide is sometimes justifiable, or are we going to be namby little pearl-clutching NIMBY?
I mean, we are at least a somewhat experienced doctor. I feel this is where we're going to have a very deep disagreement because you like birds, and I find birds deeply creepy.
Well, yes, they're government drones.
No, they're real. They're real, Julia. I don't know where this came from. But no. Okay, yeah. We're just going to be sweet and innocent. But killing them. Selyunka frowns. You say that as though I'm a murderess, she says. when I'm nothing of the sort. Think, girl, think. Do you think about the food you eat, of how the butcher earns his keep? No, of course not. They're animals. Animals. We know they are lesser. We have measured their animi. And the animus of a pigeon, why, it's little more than candlelight. So why shouldn't I snuff them?
Why? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I snuff it? Good girl run. Let's go with number 2.
I don't believe that for a second. You glare at her. The pigeons may be pests, but poisoning them? That's much too cruel. There must be some other way. Oh? Selyanka raises an eyebrow. And what would this other way be? I don't... You shake your head. I don't know, but there must be a way. There must be. And suppose I'm right, and there isn't. She frowns. You've got some nerve telling me off, young lady, when all I've heard out of you is talk. Get off your high horse. Don't tell me you're squeamish about killing a few birds. Or is that what the physician's college taught you? You tense up. Oh no.
Okay, Marid.
We're Are we going to break the good girl run?
This lady is testing our patience right now. Yeah, if we go 1, we also will probably get some kind of cool world building.
Love it. What would... No, you start. So the option was, what would a hag like you possibly know about the art? No, you start. You catch yourself. Being emotional won't get you anywhere, Merid. It won't change anything. It won't bring him back. You take a deep breath. I'm sorry. I have to go. You turn and walk away. Suit yourself, love. Selyanka calls after you. When you don't respond, she shakes her head and goes back to feeding the pigeons.
Huh. Alright, well. What else to do here? Oh, actually, can we inventory again and look at that pendant that apparently has our dad's soul inside of it?
Yeah, we could do that. Images tumble unbidden from memory. Flames licking at the beams, melting glass, engulfing the silhouette of your father. Merid, go! He screamed, hoarse from the fumes, and you ran, cheeks stained with tears. Turned to you, and her golden eyes were haunted. I'm sorry, Merid, she said, her voice cracking. I couldn't save him. I'm so sorry. No promises, the animalogist said, his brow knitted. If indeed your father died there, we can bind the residual energies to an animus stone. Residual, you understand. There's no telling. Flaring light, and you reached out and mouthed the word. Father.
Oh, Dad.
You shake your head to clear your thoughts. The past belongs in the past. What matters is that he is with you now, in this pendant.
Talk to pendant?
You only wish he could hear.
Oh my god, we're just keeping our father's soul in a torturous, undead, unalive state.
To be fair, they light the gas lamps with souls. I think their understanding of what a soul is a little different.
We're gonna blow this whole thing wide open. Alright, what else is in our inventory?
We have our jacket, we have our clothes.
Yeah, anything in our purse?
Badge. We have our practitioner's badge. We have our scalpel. We have purse and an antiseptic cloth. Look in purse. You only ever open your purse when you're buying something. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, let's go home.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, or we could go to the public house.
Ooh, yeah, let's get a drink. It's been a long day.
Tucked away in the shadow of the domiciles, this cozy establishment offers a retreat from the melancholy of the night. Other patrons are scattered at the tables, engaged in drinking and conversation, while in the corner a solitary clockwork musician plays. The door is to the east. A smartly dressed mutant is behind the counter polishing a glass. This must be the new bartender. He gives you a nod as you enter.
Quick aside to that little smoothness of implementation that I was talking about earlier. Go west. Not just open the door, but close it behind you. That is a smart parser right there.
It's something that, like, I forget what I was watching. It might have been a Polygon video where they talked about how difficult doors are to implement in games. Because, like, from an animation perspective, there's so much to do. And that's why, like, doors automatically open, or they're, like, cutscenes, something like that. Or they just stay open all the time. And you're just running around using open doors as a way to, like, pathfind until all the doors are open and it's just like a maze.
Huh.
But I do love that it says, hey, you actually closed the door because, yeah.
We weren't raised in a barn.
I mean, were we, though?
I guess we'll find out.
Let's look at these. Do you want to look at the patrons or the musician?
¿Por qué no los dos?
All right. You don't see anyone you know here among the patrons.
All right.
The musician is an antique automaton fashioned in the likeness of a tuba player. An inscribed cylinder revolves in place of a diaphragm, altering the pressure within its windpipe to produce pleasing melodies. The clockwork musician is currently playing the Planetaria Overture.
Listen to Overture? Let's get cultured. Huh. All right.
The clockwork musician finishes playing the Planetaria Overture and starts on Tricitas's Concerto 9. I want to see how many more there are. Okay. Cool.
Well, let's check out that mutant.
It has been some years now since the mutants of the Darklands were integrated into society, and you have mostly gotten used to their haphazard anatomy, their alien perception of the world. Mostly. He looks to be one of the older generation of mutants, with few features that mark him as having once been human. He wears a dignified wooden mask and a tailcoat that has been modified to accommodate additional limbs.
Interesting.
X.
Limbs?
Oh, yeah. The bartender's anatomy is certainly very unique.
All right. Let's chat him up.
Talk to bartender. You sit down at the serving counter. Hello, you say. The bartender stops polishing his glass and regards you thoughtfully.
I think we need a drink. Oh, sorry.
We have 4 choices. We have I don't believe we've met. You must be the new bartender. Order a drink. Actually, never mind. Order a drink.
Yeah, it's been a long fucking day.
I'd like a glass of spiced wine, please. The bartender measures out the wine, waters it down, and tosses it with a bag of spices before handing you the glass. You take your time to nurse the drink. It's sweet, with a pinch of nutmeg and other flavors you don't recognize. sweet and sad. Do we want to talk about it?
I kind of want to see if we can just drink in silence until we get hammered and then have an emotionally vomitous conversation with the bartender.
The bartender takes the empty glass with an understanding nod. Absolutely, always tip.
Oh, yeah, come on. Uh-oh.
Nice.
Well, okay, let's see if we can talk to him again, and if not, I guess we'll learn if undo works in this game.
Let's live with our choices. We didn't want to talk about it. See you soon. You stand up. The bartender goes back to his business. You suppose you should as well.
Huh.
Can we talk to the bartender again? Yes.
There we go.
We just can't order another drink.
Boo! I'm a fucking adult. I can have another one if I want.
You are carrying a scalpel in your pocket. Just like casually.
Yeah, does it have a cap on it? Because as somebody who has stabbed herself on an uncapped Exacto in her purse more than once, that's a fool's game, my friend.
All right. Do we want to talk about us or talk about him?
I want to talk about him, honey.
You must be the new bartender. The bartender nods sagely.
Do we want to shake his tentacle or ask how... Yeah, let's ask how business is going.
How's business? Bartender pauses in thought, then makes a non-committal gesture with his tentacle.
All right.
Jeez, yeah, tentacles.
That was a wild guess on my part, but I'm happy that it panned out. Let's introduce ourselves.
I don't believe we've met. My name is Merritt. The bartender bows and pantomimes some welcome. Are we going to make an assumption about this bartender?
We don't get a sense of like what he wants to hear or not. Let's offer to shake his hand at least.
It's nice to meet you. You offer your hand. The bartender bends and touches the wooden mouth of his mask to it. Aw.
Huh. Well, we made a friend.
All right. We made a friend. All right. Let's go to sleep.
Yeah.
Up to your dormitory room. Merritt's room. Though the space of yours is small, you have done your best to furnish it with the comforts of home. In one corner is a dressing table, piled with stationery and assorted toiletries. In another is the kitchenette. The only door leads back downstairs to the atrium. Your bed is at the end of the room, beside the window. You feel tired, weary. Go to bed. It's been a long day. You drape your jacket over the head of your bed and settle beneath the covers. Your room fades away as you will your eyes to close. But still your mind drifts, draws you back into the tides of memory where you can only watch. Watch the shimmer of the surgery room. Watch Redden's eyes close 1,000 times. Watch the lights all around, dancing like flames.
Yes.
Day 1. You wake in a cold sweat. The bells of Miller's Gate are ringing.
Huh. Okay. I don't think we're gonna be late no matter how much we fuck around. So maybe can we check out our stationery and stuff in our kitchen?
Yeah. Far off, the bells continue to ring. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in the morning. You're lucky you haven't overslept. You quickly get dressed and run through your morning routine. Dr. Cavallo will be waiting for you at the clinic. stationary. Is that how to spell stationary? It is.
It's a hard word.
On the one hand, your pens, ink, medical tax, rent payments, paper correspondence. On the other, your toothbrush, tooth powder, comb, nail file, and other necessities of day-to-day living. Get pen. Okay. You don't need a pen.
You always need a pen.
Let's look at how sad is this kitchenette? You are a more diligent disciple of the Ars Vitalis than the Ars Coquinae, and so the hooks here are bare. Nevertheless, the kitchenette is equipped with a stove and a cold closet.
I assume that's a fridge?
Yes. Let's go down. It's all good.
Oh. Look in the fridge. Look at the cold closet.
Okay.
Alright. Oh no, our pigeons.
It's a simple wooden closet internally cooled by glyphs that siphon heat from it to the stove. Fair enough.
What? So when the stove gets hot, it siphons all.
You're breaking up, buddy.
Cool to the cold closet, and to keep the cold closet cold, it siphons all the heat. Oh, that's so clever.
That's like what I was talking about with.
Man, the internet gods are not on our side tonight.
Yeah. But that's what you were saying about, like, what we both were saying about the world building in this. Like, that's such a subtle thing to do for world building, to go, yeah, all right, I've thought about how fridges work in this world. And I feel like that's like one of those things in writing that you're supposed to do if you're world building. It's like, okay, what is this mundane thing that, you know, how does this actually work here? Jerem is re-switching internet.
Am I here?
You are here.
Hooray!
So you probably know this better than I do. That's like a thing when you're doing world building, is like pick the mundane item and explain how that works. Right?
Yeah. Kat Manning has a really good term for it that has escaped my memory right now. But basically, if you showed a lemon squeezer to a caveman, you should know what the lemon squeezer is and what it does and how you can make the caveman understand that.
Yeah. And I think, like, this kind of points at, you know, all of the how impressed both of us are with the world building in this game. All right, we've looked at the cold closet. I thought you were being ridiculous, and no, I was wrong.
Can we open it and see what's in the fridge? I'm sorry. The classic adventure game tradition of going to someone's house and just rifling through their shit.
I mean, to be fair, this is how I drank baby formula in A Mind Forever Voyaging. Literally no point in the entire game.
Was it good?
I mean, it was baby formula. You aren't hungry, and there's no wine in the cold closet.
Marina's my kind of girl.
All right, now we're back down to the dormitory block. We forgot our lunch. The ground is littered with must be dozens of dead pigeons. A char golem is busy sweeping the carcasses into a bag, while a gobliness slouches beside the fountain nearby.
All right. You want to talk to the golem or the gobliness?
Let's do the golem. It's an animated golem comprised of cast iron. The stamp on its forehead identifies it as property of the Council of Works. Talk to golem. Golems aren't sapient. You'd sooner get a response out of a lamppost. Talk to lamppost. That is either not important or not something you can see. Fair.
Good instincts. Good instincts.
Look at this goblin. She's dressed like an odd job woman. The pockets of her apron are stuffed with work tools. Talk to goblin. Goblin. Good morning. Morning, miss. She tips her cap. Take care you don't step on one of them pigeons. Nasty business. You look at your feet. Thanks for the warning. Cool.
Can we talk to her again?
You make some small talk, but the conversation soon peters out.
All right, fine. Let's go to work.
Let me look at this fountain real quick, because I don't remember that from last time. It's a neoclassical sculpture of concentric basins. An image of Mercury takes pride of place, with sword aloft in one hand and water spout chalice in the other. Okay. All right. Let's get out of here to the south. We have to go to work. It's not.
Boo!
It's not going to let us do anything. Let's go to the clinic. Good morning, doctor. You call. But she doesn't seem to be in the waiting area of the consulting study. Odd. Where could she have gone? Surgery room or mortuary? We have two choices.
Obviously mortuary. Goodbye.
The odor of camphor is overwhelming in this gloomy subterranean chamber. Shelves along the walls house organs and jars of formaldehyde. Deeper in, cadavers are organized in labeled niches, embalmed and awaiting cremation. A flight of stairs leads back up to the clinic. Dr. Kavala is here studying Redden's body with a loupe. His heart, lungs, and trachea are neatly laid out beside him on the slab. Please tell me what a loupe is.
Played this game.
Say again?
So all the shirt, and I'm pretty sure the story will change. Probably not that dramatically, but at least significantly, whether you go that route or not. Also, I think a loupe is like a fancy monocle.
Yes, it is a special adjustable lens capable of a high degree of tunnel magnification. So I guess like a jeweler's eyeglass or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what choice did you want us to make?
So I just voted to go to mortuary. Let's talk to the doctor.
Sure. Talk to doctor. You cough politely. Good morning, doctor. Oh. Dr. Kavala pushes up her loupe and acknowledges you with a nod. Good morning, Merritt. I trust you had a good night's sleep?
Did we have a terrible nightmare? I don't remember.
Yeah, we did. We had a pretty terrible nightmare.
Oh shit, right, of course. Yeah, let's open up to our mentor.
Yeah, let's do that. I had a terrible nightmare, you confide. I saw him die over and over. I saw the flames again. Dr. Kavala sighs. She gets to her feet, wipes off her gloves, places her hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry, she says. It's not an easy thing to have gone through, to have witnessed. Wounds like yours take a long time to heal, but I promise it'll get better. You shake your head. I'll be fine, doctor. Don't worry about me. After a pause, she nods and squeezes your shoulder. Good girl. Then Dr. Cavallo steps back and her businesslike demeanor returns. The order of business today is twofold, she begins. We aren't expecting many patients today, so I don't need you to be at the counter. Instead, I need you to run an errand for me. What sort of errand, you ask? She purses her lips. First, I need you to deliver the documentation of Redden's death to the Basilica. Second, I need you to inform Redden's next of kin that he has passed away.
I don't recall signing up for this in medical school.
Paperwork. Lots of paperwork. So we have, how should I go about delivering the documentation? Where does Redden's next of kin live? What will you be doing? I'm on it, doctor. I'm sorry, what will you be doing, ma'am? Dr. Cavallo inclines her head at the slab. When not receiving patients, you mean? I intend to spend the day studying Redden's affliction. I've already left correspondence for Dr. Arturis, who I expect she'll join me in the afternoon. In the meantime, I'm compiling observations and studying the mechanism by which Redden has died. If all goes well, we should be able to present our findings to the medical community by the end of the week. Let's just run through this.
Yeah.
How should I go about delivering the documentation? It's quite straightforward. Dr. Cavallo shows you a sheaf of papers. I've already bundled the documents and sent word to the Basilica by correspondence. All you have to do is pass the bundle to the censor's office. You rack your memory. The Basilica is next to the Forum, right? Across the Via Terminalis Bridge? That's right. Where does Redden's next of kin live? Dr. Cavallo frowns. According to my file, he has a brother in Riggertown by the name of Zoiro. But I don't have an address for you. Your best bet is to look up his name in the census records. Or you could ask around in Riggertown. I understand the goblin community is quite tightly knit. Is Riggertown that shanty town down the canal? It is. Turn right at the bridge and you'll see it. She pauses. And another thing. Check whether anyone in Riggertown is exhibiting similar symptoms. It could help in narrowing down the cause of the affliction. I'm on it, Doctor. She nods and presses the bundle of documentation into your hands. Remember, first, deliver the documents to the Basilica. Second, look for Zoiro in Riggertown. Report back to me when you're done. Okay. I'll be here if you need anything. She pauses. Take your time. Consider today a break after yesterday night. Yes, Doctor. Run along. With that, she sits down at the slab. So we have the inventory and we have the journal. Just double
Let's check out our journal.
It's the 4th of Aquaria, Autumn the 4th. I've been given an opportunity to get out of the clinic and see the sights of the Channel Work District, but I still feel a hollowness inside. So we have 2 objectives. And I love that it tells you where to go. Like, because this was the first IF that I'd played in a long time. And it was so refreshing to be like, oh, okay, I don't need to remember this stuff. I don't need to write down the map. I don't need to, like, do all this. It's all built in a way that, like, takes away the, I wouldn't say not fun parts necessarily, but, like, takes away the parts that were difficult for me playing, text adventures before.
Yeah, it steers you toward the good stuff. some folks really like the mapping and the keeping track of different objectives and the note taking and this and that. Most folks don't. And I think it's kind of hard to argue that the real meat of why we play IF is in, I don't know, the playing of it. And especially in a game this big, the amount of consideration that it gives to the player's needs is really remarkable.
Yeah, yeah. Um, do we want to take a look at the body parts?
What the hell do you think the answer to that is? Come on.
All right, let's look at the heart. Redden's organs are black and withered. You might have suspected poor embalming technique if it hadn't been Dr. Kavala performing the dissection.
That's probably the same for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go up.
Yeah. What's up in the surgery room?
Yeah, how nasty is this surgery room? I mean, we did clean it last time. Yeah, nothing new. The gurney in the center of the room is empty.
Let's check out the gurney. There's probably something on there.
It's a sober mechanical bed with various devices and surgical implements attached.
All right.
Yeah, no.
We completed medical school. We should know what at least a few of these things are.
You see, they have. And so we, as the player, just being like, I don't know, it's various devices? and Merid's just like, no. That is like a bone saw. Alright, cool. Well, nothing in there.
I'll probably need this environment later.
Alright.
Ooh, what's in the records? Check out the patient records.
Yeah. You could look up medication or patient records.
Let's look up Braden.
Patient records.
I think we're meant to look up something. Like look up what was the the Catholic halitosis?
Right. Okay. Well, look up isn't the right word.
Huh. I feel fairly assured that we're gonna need this for a puzzle later.
Yeah, it'll probably open up then. Let's get it out of here. And then ooh. I'm wondering just trying to think how to view the full size of the map quickly.
Oh, here. If you don't want to stream for the players, I believe that there's a online copy somewhere.
Ooh, yeah. There probably is. Map?
Yeah, I just got it here.
Oh, here we go. Map of the Channelworks District. Sweet. Thank you yet again to IFDB.
A remarkable organization.
Okay, so yeah. So we're at the Via Terminalis West End. We're at the clinic. We need to go across that. You know what? We can use our journal. Basilica is across the Via Terminalis Bridge, next to the Grand Forum. Got it. So we go to the Via Terminalis Junction, go south to the Grand Forum, go west to the Basilica. Sweet.
All right. Let's take a little walkabout.
Yeah. There's also an alley entrance to the south. Do you want to go there first?
Oh, obviously. Gotta check out the alley.
You shuffle through the gap. It's a crooked alley, a thin, twisting thread that winds between buildings. Rubbish accumulates around pipes and corners, not quite blocking the smoking vents of the underground distilleries. You can escape by a gap between buildings to the north or a hanging banner to the northeast. Hanging banner to the northeast, obviously. Unless
Yeah,
you want to search rubbish.
Obviously search the garbage. Come on.
You find nothing of interest, J-Ram.
It was worth a shot.
So you duck under the banner. We're in the Via Terminalis West Street. You're adrift in the bustle of crowds and carriages, a raucous river that runs through the blood vessel streets. Signage advertises a profusion of shops and services amidst the sound of leather rollers and stitching machines. In the distant mist, the Bilious Canal spills from the channel works into the heart of the city. You can follow the Via to the west or to the southeast, where it bridges the canal. A condemned block is visible to the north. A hanging banner obscures an alley to the southwest, while a footpath follows the canal to the south. Some civil guards are keeping vigil on the thoroughfare. Among them, you see your friend, Horatio. Oh,
Man. An absolute plethora of things to X.
We have Horatio. Vigile Horatio is a childhood friend of yours. He's always been a bit dense, but you're glad to have him around. My boy. This is like, I think meeting this guy was like when I was fully hooked. He's a doofus. He's great. He's good-hearted, though. You smile at him. Good morning, Horatio. He grins. Hey, Merid, out and about early? Do we want to be open and honest, or do we want to be weird and flirty?
I mean, do we want to try to... I don't remember if there's romance in this game. Nah, let's just be honest.
Alright. I'm on an errand for Dr. Kavala. You explain. I'm on my way to deliver some documents to the Basilica. No wonder you look like you were in a hurry, Horatio muses. Well, I shan't hold you up. You do know the way, don't you? Even if I didn't, I'd know better than to ask you. He hangs his head. Fair enough. How's life in the Vigilace?
Yeah.
Horatio folds his arms. I've hardly done anything. It's been nothing but closet scrubbing and guard duty. I thought that I'd had enough of that after boot camp.
Oh, so Vigilia isn't his first name, it's like his title.
Oh, yeah. I know the feeling. I'm getting antsy, you know? He drums his fingers on the hilt of his saber. I want to be out there catching criminals and stopping burglaries, not standing around. I want to see some action once in a while. See you soon, Horatio. You too, Merid. You hug each other goodbye, and he returns to his post.
Okay.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We don't want to go to the Bilious Canal. I remember that. That's later.
I think it's bilious, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Bilious? Bilious sounds... Yes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to correct you. Now I'm trying to think if I've ever actually heard that word spoken aloud.
Yeah, this is ethereal all over again.
Ethereal all the way down, honey. Man, so many things to X. Okay, so I want to check out, in no particular order, the signs, the banner, and the guards.
Yeah. Ooh, the strains of a galvanic viol waft over the rooftops.
Electric violin? Hell yeah! Getting prog up in this medieval fantasy city.
Let's look at this banner. The banner is an advertisement for a night market, now 3 weeks out of date. You can't see much behind it. Nice bit of flavor. You said the banner, you said the guards. They cut an imposing figure on the black livery of the philosopher's cabal. Your friend Horatio is among them. And then you said one more thing.
The banner, the guards, and the signage.
All right. Signs advertise a variety of goods and services, but none of them catch your eye.
Alright, well, fair enough. So let's see. I guess we're supposed to head
We need to head southeast.
southeast.
Where we need to go.
Do we want to play Loki?
I'm curious about this condemned block.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here crouch the blackened husks of buildings, now little more than skeletons awaiting demolition. A chained-up gate bars access to the plot. The only remaining path leads south back to the lights of the Via Terminalis. Well, X gate. It's crisscrossed with chains and rusted shut.
Okay. That certainly will not be a area of plot significance later, I'm sure.
Yes, it seems that the chained-up gate is barring access to the plot.
This is what they mean by gatekeeping.
All right, let's go southeast. Let's try to get this done.
Also, just real quick before we go, the strains of the galvanic viol and the couple that just walked past us, those little bits of semi-randomized flavor text just really, it really brings the city to life. And I'm a sucker for a well-implemented city in IF.
Yeah. Just that little bit of thing goes so far. Yeah, I didn't it's funny because I don't even notice that. Like I get, 2 paragraphs, all right, it's the same thing. And then you saying couple walking past and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Oh, yeah, a couple walk past, chatting animatedly. All right, we're on the bridge. I think we don't need to go down. I think we need to go southeast once more.
I believe you're right, yeah.
Hear the voices and bustle wash over the arches and cobblestones. Mist rises from the bilious canal below, tarnishing the wayside statues green and gray, and fading into the fog and the overcast sky. Via Terminalis stretches away to the northwest and southeast, while a clandestine stairway descends to the south. All right, we're at the junction. Traffic revolves every which way around this old-fashioned rotunda, tracing the ancient alchemical lines inscribed on the stonework. An armillary sphere rotates in the center of the junction and guides carriages according to its lights. The Via Terminalis runs northwest to the bridge and southeast to Miller's Gate. A colonnade to the north marks the entrance to the Channel Works. To the east lies the Turris Infinita, and to the south can be seen the Grand Forum. We need to go south.
Yeah.
I want to know about these lines.
Absolutely. Oh, those are our tattoos. Okay, what about the lines on the ground, though?
Well, looking at the alchemical tattoos, your father gave you these tattoos when you were a young child, as is tradition in some alchemical families. Even now, the flowing, circuitous lines remind you of him. X stonework? An impossibly complex pattern of glyphs, circuitous and winding underfoot. You could study it for years and never uncover all of its intricacies. Some young men walk past, pointing and laughing at something out of sight.
Hmm.
Okay.
As anybody who has ever gone out for an errand on the clock knows, this is our time to dawdle. We shall dawdle and we shall loiter.
Nice. Let's look at this sphere.
Hell yeah!
What's up with this sphere? This device of whirling rings directs carriage traffic around the junction. Get out of here. Okay.
Interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess we can't go through the Miller's Gate. Do you want to go try to check out the channel works, or do you just want to be boring, go straight to where we're supposed to go?
We're going, I know for a fact we're going to see everything.
Fair
We
enough.
go to all of these places. For once, benefit of having played this game before. And also like a credit to this because, you know, I think about some of the games that I've played where like, yeah, there is somewhere where it's like you see something and if you don't go and look at it, it's gone. Where because for a relatively large game, it's pretty small. Insofar as like number of locations. That does a lot with the plot line though.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Compact might be the word that I use, or maybe efficient.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think other games might have a lot of different locations, but maybe not have like things to do in them.
Yeah, you really. I'm trying. I'm gonna try not to harp on too much of a point about this. You really can tell the author. I mean, this came out in 2017, and the final version didn't come out till 2021. There's a lot of love put into this.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I was reading in my attempt to get you to play games that are older than 20 years old. I read the 50 Years of Text games that came out recently that was about amnesia. And in reading that, my playthrough of that left out more than half the game. And I got to a satisfying narrative end.
We should have your friend and mine, J. Patrick Brown, on the stream sometime, who is, number one, a giant IF dork, but he and I have been talking about this recently as we play through Perfect Tides by Meredith Gran, which is incredible. Highly recommended. Just a perfect, poignant picture of being a sad, angry, horny teen in the late 90s with access to an AOL dial up. But part of it is that despite the incredible writing, there's a ton of it that is incredibly easily missable, right? And we're going back and forth on this. We're like, what does a game owe its player? To what degree should the author go out of their way to make sure that you see everything versus, well, if you don't see it, that's for the replay, chump.
Yeah, I think it depends on like, is it supposed to be a replayable game? Like Weight of the Soul, and I love this. I'm enjoying like playing it again, but ultimately I know, especially since I'm actively playing it, so like the muscle memory is there. It's like, yeah, I gotta go here and then I gotta go there, and like we don't need to worry about that yet. That'll come. And like, okay, it's one straight story where like if there is real replayability in the story, it like begs to do that again. but like I'm not like I missed a lot of things in A Mind Forever Voyaging. Like I in no way 100% at that. I am never gonna go back and play that again, even though I enjoyed it. Like it just the story was there and it happened, in one linear way. Like I have the same thing with like Skyrim. Like I don't understand the people who've put like 500 hours into Skyrim. It's like the game's there, like the plot line is there. It is one plot line. Yeah, there's an entire continent that you can like explore, but like what are you getting out of doing that, other than 100%ing, which like
becoming a werewolf, Doug. Duh.
first off, the vampires have better powers. You can be a bat. But yeah, like, but even with that, like, I had that choice between, do I want to do like, yeah, I'm not gonna play that again just to like see what the vampire thing is versus the werewolf. Like, okay, cool, I made my choice. Like, I was a little like bow wielding cat person. It ruled. But like, I'm not gonna do it again.
Drank your share of skooma, eh? All right. Can we buy? I realize this is almost certainly vapor flavor text, but can we buy a copy of the paper?
Oh yeah. Let's buy paper. Nope.
Go figure.
Talk to newsboy. Oh, hey, we can talk to the newsboy.
Nice.
Good morning, you say. Morning, miss. He thrusts a newspaper into your hands. Compliments of the press. Thanks. Everyone stops and stares as a flight of archons thunders overhead, but life soon resumes as if nothing has happened.
I'm choosing to believe those two things are connected.
Read Libri Liberi. Feature. Is animus power ethical? Cathode-bound animi produce the energy that sustains our civilization, yet these souls are acquired through the coercion of society's most deprived. Mutant cultists among us? Witnesses have reported individuals in the lower city performing rituals in contravention of the Declaration of Religion Act. 6 autumn fashion tips. Look your best in the coming season with these products and recommendations from our featured experts. Nice.
All right. The level of world building is so good.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
definitely did not do that. I will tell you that much. All right. Cool.
All right, let's get on here.
Is there anything else? Oh, no.
Yeah, gotta check out that mural for sure.
Yeah. X the mural. The mural is a 3-dimensional work of art magically inscribed upon the ether. Walking through it, you see the world exquisitely captured, so finely detailed that you can make out the pinprick lights of the constellations. There are the continents Terra Munda and Terra Nova, the Great Black Sea of the Pelagus, and the 4-domed Periox, Cardiopolis, Creopolis, Furopolis, and Neopolis. A pair of cabriolets hurtle past without warning and are gone.
Is Ferropolis where all the furries hang out?
Yeah, and they go to Neopolis and get a bunch of like small little pets, and like weirdly it's like a Scientology thing. Okay. Neat. Let's go to the Basilica. That's where we gotta go.
Yeah, it seems about time.
Footsteps and whispers echo through these high vaulted halls. The aisles on either side are lined with doorways of countless clerical offices, and surrounding the raised chancel are the seats of the magistrate's court. The exit is to the east. Nearby is the censor, but he appears to have fallen asleep at his desk. The censor. He's a middle-aged man with a receding hairline. He's slumped over his desk, fast asleep.
Stab him with our scalpel.
Stab, censor. You'd have to defend your actions in court afterwards. Not exactly the ideal solution.
Yell, shake, slap.
Yell at censor. Excuse me? The censor snores by way of response. Oh, gosh darn it. What do we have in our inventory?
Hey, we got into the first real puzzle of the game.
Yay! I forgot about this puzzle. Kick censor. You give the censor a good hard knock on the brachial plexus. He yelps and sits bolt upright. People's is a bond factory, he sputters. What was that for?
Ahem.
Clear your throat. You put your hands on your hips and clear your throat. The censor sighs. Of course, right then. He adjusts his collar and puffs out his chest. Censor Provost at your service, miss. What can I do for you today? I have documents from Dr. Cavala's clinic. Said to do that first. Regarding the death of a Channelworks district citizen, a middle-aged goblin man by the name of Redden. You hand the bundle of documents to the censor, who regard it with an appraising eye. Let me see. He breaks the seal and quickly scans the contents. Yes. Unfortunate this. Not to worry. All should be in order. The censor's gaze pauses on one section of the report. He reads it. Rereads it. He says. Well, excuse me. An unknown disease? Now this is highly irregular. Highly irregular. I'll have to contact my superiors. He puts a big red stamp on the bundle and files it away in a clattering of drawers, muttering to himself all the while. At last, he pats the desk and nods with an air of self-importance. Very good, miss, he says. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Now, was there anything else you needed? I need the address of a Channelworks district citizen.
So helpful.
His name is Zwiro. The censor furrows his brow. Right then, he says. Just a moment. Wait here, if you please. He gets up and vanishes into one of the side doorways of the basilica, muttering a stream of incomprehensible jargon involving coordinates and street names. You hear the sound of wooden scroll cases being rifled through and furtive, frantic consultations among the clerks. After an appreciable wait, he emerges from the doorway, flush-faced and triumphant. 7th on Layabout Row, he proclaims, Upper Riggertown. Property under the name of Zwaro and Korif. And his place of employment, which I've taken the liberty to look up, is the Riggertown Mechanistry. Here, let me write it down for you. He scribbles on a scrap of paper, hands it to you, and sits back down at his desk, looking eminently satisfied. There we go. Now, was there anything else you needed? Nothing. Thank you. The censor beams. Have a good day, miss. Per radium Sophia. You step away from the censor's desk.
In light is knowledge?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, well, I guess we're going to Goblin Town.
Yeah, let's go to Goblin Town. Do we actually complete something? Journal. Whoa. Yeah, we did. It feels good to be out and about making myself useful. Has it really been a week since the last time I went out on the town? Not that I should be going shopping at a time like this, but walking through the streets, seeing everyone going about their daily lives, it's almost enough to make me feel as though everything is going to be well. Oh, we have a ton of notes that I'm not going to read. It does ask what the buskers in the Grand Forum are performing. So when we go out there, let's look at those.
Ooh.
We don't need to talk to this middle manager. All right, Grand Forum. Buskers? You watch Ventriloquist and his irreverent dolls for a while. You enjoy a spontaneous folk rendition of The Words I Couldn't Say.
I wish I knew the technical IF terminology for this, but the like procedurally generated interactive bits, kind of like the folks walking by in the town, but like there's a great example of this in a name that is escaping me that I will link in the chat later. But you can eavesdrop on the secretary, uh, uh, having different conversations with on the phone about different. Well, if gnocchi reminds you of her, I would stop going to the pasta aisle. Of course, I know it's not pasta. Quote. I wrote them down because I found them so delightful.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that kind of thing. It's one of those things where like it's such a benefit to have real computers now, and not like 1,400 bytes of data or 140 kilobytes. Like how big is this? And yeah, it's got like images and things like that, but like yeah, I mean this is 7 megabytes. Like it is wild to think that it is well more than 7 times larger than like fundamental older text adventures and like IF. Going back to Amnesia, like the thing that I missed was a full map of Manhattan that they have in there, a like actually accurate, like you have to walk through every single intersection and like there's places to go. But so Amnesia was written by like an actual author who didn't entirely understand like the games part. So like the script for it is like literally something like 500,000 words.
Good gravy.
Yeah, like it's just not like, especially like this is, I think it's 1984. Like this is way before any of that. So like one of the things in the 50 years of text games newsletter was like, yeah, they had to sit his like ass down and be like, this cannot, you wrote way too much. You wrote like way too much. We have to simplify this. So like he had all these interactions at different points in the city and like random interactions and like thought about these things, and it all had to be cut. Like it all had to be cut. So like you go through the city and it's empty. Like you are just walking through intersections, but there's literally no text apparently.
Damn. I feel like I want to like that. That sounds. Sorry, go.
Oh no, go.
Or that sounds like a very unsatisfying game experience, but kind of a poignant one. Is all I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's in like stark contrast to the, I guess, third of the game that I played, because all I did was just like walk around this hotel, and that took me like 3 hours, and I found like at least 2 satisfying endings.
Damn.
I thought that was it. and like apparently triggered some things that like are random encounters and things like that. Apparently we need 6 cop cars to go do whatever they're doing. So like just in contrast to that, like going 7 cop cars. In contrast to that, like exactly this, where let's like have different buskers. Let's like do some interesting things. I don't know. I think about that a lot. And they're still going. You watch a body puppet show about the adventures of a 3-legged mutant.
Where's the third leg?
On his arm. Okay. So, all that good discussion, I've forgotten where we need to go. We need to go to Riggertown. Riggertown is down from the Grand Forum, according to
Yes, we're going to need to go northwest a couple of times and then south.
Okay. No, we could go. We could just go south. We could take the Via Mercurii.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let's go that way. The road of change is a snaking, secretive thing. It curls in the side streets and in the dark places. Here along the canal, the opulence of the upper Perioc peels away to reveal midnight hues and scarlet lamps, cabarets and pawnbrokers and establishments of ill repute. But for now, at least, they slumber in the daylight. To the north is the Grand Forum, vibrant and lovely, while to the south the shanty quarter begins. A fortune teller is plying his trade by the road. As you pass him, he meets your gaze and beckons you with a smile.
Oh, baby, you know I'm going to get my cards read.
Yeah. Talk to fortune teller. You approach the fortune teller's table. Hello, you offer. Good afternoon, young one. His accent is disarming. I guess that wasn't a disarming accent. Have you come in search of answers?
I thought it was very disarming.
I came because you beckoned me and I was curious.
Huh. I don't think it's going to measurably impact the plot.
It's true. Which one do we want to go with?
Yeah. Let's do 2. Why not?
I came because you beckoned me. Yes, of course. But there are a dozen buskers on these streets every day. Do you approach each of them when they beckon you? Yes, we do.
That's why we never get anything done and we don't know anything about medicine.
We're just handing paperwork to people. The fortune teller continues to smile. He spreads his hands and the deck of cards seem to cascade like water. The cards tell me all I need to know. I can see the thoughts and dreams that trouble you. What should you do? Where will you go? The fates can show us all this and more. We have 6 choices, 5 because we're already in this and we are not doing perhaps another time.
I want to talk about you. I know, how many patrons does he get?
Do you get many patrons? You ask. Many, the fortune teller replies. I've told the fortunes of the rich and poor, young and old. They all sought answers in their lifetime, and the cards help them discover the way.
Okay.
I've never seen cards like these before. The fortune teller nods enigmatically and slowly riffles the deck for you to see. The card backs are baroque, inlaid with gold, brilliant with light as they collapse inward. The Aubadore, he murmurs. The lost art. Here, you may not have heard of it, but the tradition exists, and I assure you, it is real.
Yeah, I want to hear about this lost art.
What did you mean by the lost art? He only smiles. Perhaps I've said too much. A magician can only reveal so many secrets.
Reveal your secrets. How does it work?
The fortune teller holds the cards close to his chest. The strings of fate, but perhaps you know them better as the chains of causality. They're intimately connected to all things in ways you can't imagine. By shuffling the cards, I'm attuning them to your past, present, and future, to the parallels and possibilities. Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I'm pretty sure. Well, let's see how the reading goes.
I'd like a reading, you say cautiously. Very well, he replies. Please sit down. What question do you wish to ask the fates? You take your seat at the table facing the fortune teller. After a long moment, you give your answer. There's a boy I like. A man died in the clinic where I work, or I've been having nightmares.
Do we like a boy? Let's ask about the goblin.
Fine.
If you like a boy, Dougie, you are welcome to ask the cards for about it. Like,
no, we're playing straight and good for the most part. Except the one time that our hand was forced, and even then, a man died in the clinic where I work. I want to know what happened to him. The fortune teller's smile fades, and he nods more seriously. You pose me a sober question, my friend, he says. I will endeavor to ask the cards on your behalf. Let's see what the river pattern has to tell us about your patient. He upturns his hand. Cards slide off the deck and onto the table in a flowing line. With his other hand, he turns the path of the cascade until a curving tangent has been formed. The river flows from the source, he says, through the upper course and the bend, into the lower course and the delta. Here, the tributary is fed by the lake. He gestures to each of the face-down cards in sequence. Now we will reveal the cards, one by one, and see what they reveal about the flow of causality. His gold-gloved hand hovers over the source. Shall we begin?
yes.
You nod. The fortune teller touches the source and brings it to light. The illustration is of an ancient forge, immaculately detailed and filled with artifacts of esoteric design. You see swords and cups, cloaks and crowns. But in front and center, set above the rest, is a band of purest, most exalted gold. The ring, says the fortune teller, the most brilliant of the fixtures. The source was a device, or perhaps a discovery, that possessed vast potential. The next card is upside down, and all you can make out is a crowded and colorful vignette. But in the center, almost unnoticeable, is one stooped figure devoid of color. The servant, the lowliest in the realm of the court, so humble as to go unnoticed, but it is inverted. I dare say your patient drew unexpected attention, for good or for ill. The third card bears down a young woman's face in stark definition, with blue eyes eerily like your own, but with only pale skin where her mouth should have been. You involuntarily touch your lips. The fortune teller shakes his head. The bend is the mute. The event, then, the death, had to do with silence. But did your patient die because he did not speak out? Or was he killed to ensure he never did? He purses his lips. Let's take a step back. See if the tributary sheds light on the mystery. He reveals the card, and it turns out to be an idyllic scene of the land before the darkening. A picture of forest with green trees and blue skies. In its center is a body of still and silvery water. The pond, says the fortune teller. It represents a place far from civilization, where one can reflect and find reflection. It is the indirect cause. Could the discovery have been made in such a place? The place your patient drew attention? Or did he not speak out because civilization would not have heard him? You frowned. I came here for answers, not more questions. I am sorry you feel that way, my friend, he replies. I can only convey what I see with my own eyes, and what the cards see fit to provide. The fates can be temperamental, even at the best of times. But look, there's still 3 cards we have not revealed. Watch him reveal the rest of the river. We've seen what has come to pass, he says, reaching for the lake. Now we see what could have been. The card bears the image of an old woman in a dungeon. She's strung up by iron manacles and horribly withered, with her emaciation illustrated in exacting detail. The manacles, a grimace. If not for your patient's death, someone would have been imprisoned. Yes, an unpleasant picture is beginning to emerge. The fortune teller turns over the lower course, revealing it to be another dark and disturbing illustration, but upside down so that you can only see the bone-white figure. Ah, he declares, the ghost appears, but inverted. The dire message it brings is not heard, and the course of fate is not changed. And that brings us to our final card, the Delta. The Delta is a storm at sea, heaving with rain-lashed ships and alive with forked lightning. Above all in the pitch black sky is a terrible sphere that can only be the Luna. The fortune teller sets the card down. The Tempest, he whispers. The future will be filled with change and turmoil. It could be in many years, or it could be tomorrow, and all because of a humble man who drew the wrong attention and was silenced. A long pause. Do we just gotta yes him to death?
Yeah, I think we yes and.
So I see, or are you sure? Let's go with I see. I see. You say it last. He's still and pensive. The wind grasps his hood, making its edges billow. At length, he places a hand on his deck. His eyes flicker to it, his lips twitch. Then he picks up his cards, one by one, and shuffles them away and out of sight. I should go, he murmurs. I have other places to be. Just let this asshole go.
You're a busker. Where else do you have to go?
There's other people to beckon, okay? Let's make him wait. We've been here long enough. He gets to his feet. You rise, mind buzzing with questions. Wait, you cry. Wait. Goodbye, he says. Live on, my friend. Live well.
Okay.
He vanishes with a whirl of his cloak, leaving only a whiff of incense on the wind.
No, that's what we call an exit. Also, this is what I was talking about earlier with the fact that you can tell that a lot of thought and writing went into this. What the hell is the darkening? Wow. Our character definitely knows, though.
Yeah. The writer has written... There's like a short story that they wrote that apparently has more background. So like you were saying, like, this is a story that they wanted to tell. And I think it's really cool that, like, I have a story I want to tell. Let me do it in this format. It's a while before we notice the sounds of the city around us again. Yeah, let's go. Divining table is a simple tin frame table with 2 matching chairs. Alright, let's go south to the shanty quarter. That's where we were heading. The cobblestones grow crooked and broken underfoot. The buildings crowd inward until they blot out the darkening sky. You hesitate. Is there really no other way? If I recall, there absolutely is. With a deep breath, you press onward. No words can describe this place. It's claustrophobic, oppressive, a place where light does not reach. The air is heavy with the stench of offal and waste and other things better left unimagined. And you are hemmed in by ropes, walled off by concrete, entombed with the walking dead. You instinctively take a step back, only to bump into a wall. You turn around and see a labyrinth of crawl spaces and ladders and rag curtains. You are lost.
Well, guess we just wander around for a while. Maybe we should save?
Yeah, let's save.
Let's save.
Let's save. I think this is a good time to take our midstream constitutional.
Hey.
So we will be back in 10 minutes. Yes, I was waiting for this. I am confident that there is a smarter way to get here, but I very much so remembered this and wanted to play through it again. Because I think you were right that there's, like, laid out on the map, there is a way to just, like, go down. But... I did not know that at the time, the first time I played through this, so I was like, well, the map says I could go this way. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Let me go this way. Alright, so 10 minutes. See you when we're back.
I'll see you on the flip side. Alright. We're lost in a labyrinth.
And we've saved. And I found my glasses. Alright, so we're lost. Let's just go west. You wander blindly, deeper, darker, and cannot find your way. All is awash in the spectral light of broken cathode lamps, and in the shadows, phantasmagoria creeps. Frightened children eye you from the rooftops. Rats are strung up like hanged men. You walk through a broken arch and someone grabs your arm. The point of a knife touches your back. "Don't scream," says a cracked and leathery voice. "I'll kill you if you scream." So do we scream? Do we remain?
I mean, we just saved. Let's scream. Why not?
You scream. "Bitch!" The knife jabs painfully deep. You stumble up against a wall. The bricks are hard and cold. "I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Do you understand?" You feel his breath on your neck. "What do you want? We can grab the knife or we can stab blindly with our scalpel."
We just saved. Stab with a scalpel.
You draw your scalpel, twist, stab it chest height. You feel something tear. He screams. "Who?" sputters another voice. "Who? You're the girl from the clinic. Oh, Primes." You turn. There's an accomplice. He's frozen in shock. Your assailant has backed away from you. There's a spreading stain on his shirt. His face is deathly pale. Oh, Primes, I'm sorry. We didn't know. Please don't tell the doc. They take off at a run. Their footsteps vanish into the crowd, into the din of the underworld. Breathing heavily, you wipe the blood off your scalpel. That is not what happened when I did it.
Interesting.
If I remember right, like I got kidnapped or something and plunked into the area.
Huh.
So I guess let's go west again. You're among the lost. There's so many people here. Mothers, daughters. You see goblin boys fighting over scraps and mutant children with 2 mouths and nothing to eat. You push through the crowd and they barely even notice your presence. So lost are they in their own suffering. You find yourself suddenly set upon by a legion of beggars, grabbing at your trousers, thrusting empty hats into your face, baying like starving dogs.
Huh.
Give beggars money.
Yeah, we haven't had the opportunity to use money yet.
You take out your purse and it's like a beacon. Disease-mottled hands reach out. Bloodshot eyes are glued to your movements. With shivering hands, you fish out a 5 libra note. They come at you like a tidal wave, whooping, screaming, grabbing at your ankles as though if they pin you down, they will be rich forever. The note is dropped, lost. You flee from the beggars in a panic. A rubbish fire, roaring and acrid and unmistakably fecal. The flames are green and blue from alchemical decomposition, and dead bodies feed the fire and stoke its insatiable hunger with their animi. You sink to your knees.
Well, shit. Can we try out, maybe?
You get to your feet. Unsteadily you walk. You close your eyes. You keep walking. You don't stop until you feel the sun on your face once more. You've emerged out onto a bridge. If it can be called that. A haphazard assortment of ropes, planks, chains, warning signs, layers upon layers bound up in incomprehensible knots. Below the lines trail where they have snapped and never been repaired, and the bilious canal gobbles them up as they descend. Riggertown is to the west, while the shanty quarter is to the east.
Eyes on the prize, baby.
Heading out, we're at the lower level. This peculiarly goblin neighborhood bristles with mechanical chemical detritus. There are twisty catwalks made for childlike feet, and the sheet metal shacks you must stoop to enter. Here and there in the shadow of the upper landing, neon lamps glow and wind chimes tinkle like laughter. You can climb a ladder up to the next level, wander among the shacks to the west, or cross the canal east by way of Cadaver Walk. A scruffy old goblin sits on a post, chewing on a golden stick and watching the midday crowd.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in what's that stick?
It's not a biscuit, but a stick of actual gold. Looking at the goblin, you're not sure which is wrinklier, his shirt or his scalp. Let's talk to this gobbo. The old goblin raises an eyebrow as you approach. He pops a half-chewed stick out of his mouth. Something on your mind, girlie? You can just greet him. What's that you're chewing on? We can ask about the mysterious illness.
I mean, we're gonna learn about the mysterious illness. I want to know about that stick.
What's that you're chewing on? This? He holds up the half-chewed stick. It's a stick of gold. I'm sucking on it. See? Brings out the flavor. Oh. Yeah. What does gold taste like? I'm curious, you remark. What does gold taste like? Ah, he says. Now there's a fine question. Metals, see, all of them have got different flavors. You're a doctor, ain't you?
We're a medical trainee. I mean... fine. Yeah, fuck it. We're as close to a doctor as these poor folks are gonna get.
Yes. I figured from your jacket. He waggles the stick. Anyway, you studied all about the metal correspondences, yes? Lead to yellow bile, tin to blood, iron to black bile. Tastes just like that. You can taste them like a bouquet on your tongue. Correspondences, the extremes.
Extremely deep pull here, but this was a fairly significant plot point, if I recall correctly, in some of the later Narnia books. I want to say The Silver Chair, maybe? And C.S. Lewis, cranky old fucking anti-Semite that he was, did make metal sound goddamn delicious. So I am into this conversation.
So what does gold taste like? Gold, you ask? The goblin leans forward with shining eyes. Gold is different from all of them. Gold corresponds to the heart. Tasting it is like tasting the sun, the soul. Biting down on a freshly transmuted nugget. Ah, now that, I dare say, is a feast for a king.
I'm sorry, transmuted? I realize we're in an alchemical society here, but...
That is why no one cares about the fact that he has a stick of gold where you just were, like, attacked over $5.
Man, it's like the opposite of Ron Paul. Paper money! Paper money! Fuck the gold standard!
Is it healthy to be stacking on gold like this? You tell me, Doc. I don't know, you stammer. I've never studied this aspect of goblin physiology. So it is. Healthful, not healthful. Who's counting? Not me, that's for certain. He takes another bite out of his stick and grins a toothy grin. Get his name. All NPCs have good names. Except for mine. By the way, I never caught your name. His lips curl wryly. Never caught yours either. I'm married, you say. Married or Fea? Well, I'm Dante. Just Dante. Good afternoon to you, married or Fea. Alright, has anyone in Riggertown come down with a mysterious illness recently? Eh? Dante frowns. What kind of illness? You briefly elucidate the symptoms, and a black look comes over his face. Talk about a nasty business, he remarks. No, I can't say I've ever come across something like that before. I don't know anyone who has, but I'll keep an eye out, and I'll spread the word for you. You'll know if someone so much as sneezes in this town, so it is. That would be a great help, you say. Thank you. Don't mention it. Just doing what I can.
I love Dante. Alright, this is my... Dante is now the protagonist of this campaign. We must protect Dante at all costs.
He waves you off and goes back to chewing on his stick. I hope... Try to remember now. Like you said, it was a little while ago that I last played this. A horn honks. That's nice to know. Do you want to go to the west, or do you want to go up to the next level?
What direction was Raiders us again?
Up to the next level.
Yeah, let's go up. We're gonna see all this stuff anyway.
Yep. So we're in the upper level. This is the more industrial part of Riggertown. The buildings here are scrap heap spires that twist and turn around each other, with cubby carts trundling along cables strung between them. Amidst horns honking advertisements, there's a great mess of little people shuffling about, and roads winding in ways wholly inexplicable to your human sensibilities. To the south looms an enormously noisy factory, which signage indicates as the Riggertown Mechanistry. A quieter road leads southwest to the suburbs. You could also descend a series of ladders to lower Riggertown or take a footpath north along the Byless Canal. So this guy works at the Mechanistry.
Yeah. What does the Mechanistry make, I wonder?
All right, let's check it out. This building is just as haphazard inside as it is on the outside. Assembly lines run up and down and all around the many levels of this building, weighed down by unfinished, not quite manufactured things. At stations along the lines, factory workers are hunched over workbenches, welding disparate parts together within acceptable margins of regularity. To the north, through a series of raised metal shutters, is the exit. A large gobliness is walking amongst the workers, pausing now and then to dish out a tongue lashing. This must be the forewoman of the shift. Ex-gobliness. She's the largest, most intimidating goblin you've ever seen. The effect is somewhat diminished by her being a head and a half shorter than you are.
Yeah.
As the forewoman finishes lecturing one of her workers, you take the opportunity to approach her. Excuse me, you say. Are you the forewoman here? She turns and grimaces. What do you want? Make it quick. I'm busy. Do we insult her? Do we ask for what we're looking for?
Just the facts, ma'am.
I'm looking for a man named Swaro. I have it on good authority that he's employed here. Yeah, he is. Forewoman narrows her eyes. What's this about? You miss a payment for something?
Straight and narrow. Let's go option 2.
I have a message for him from Dr. Kavala. From Dr. Kavala? There's a tincture of surprise in the forewoman's voice. She shakes her head and begins to pace. Of course. Don't know why I didn't recognize you sooner. I saw Dr. Kavala for my shingles once, and well, that old warhorse doesn't pussyfoot around, does she? If you're on business from her, don't let me stop you. She leads you in a circuit around the factory floor. You find yourself before a pair of men who are hard at work assembling animus lanterns. As the forewoman clears her throat, both of them look up with trepidation. Swaro, she says, this here lady's got a message for you. Listen up, because she's only going to say it once. You glance at her. She inclines her head as if to say, you're on your own now, before turning and disappearing into the forest of assembly lines. You're left with 2 goblins who are more than a little nonplussed. They look at you. You look at them. Hello, which one of you is Swaro?
Let's go 3, I suppose. Also, hard at work with animus lanterns. That is the answer to my question.
They build shit, man. Which one of you is Swaro? You ask. No, I am, says the goblin on the left. I'm Korif, the goblin on the right adds. I'm his mate. Also, co-worker. We work together.
Well, going back to what I was saying, though, this is a great example of planting and payoff in the narrative, right? We haven't gotten to it yet, and I don't think this is a spoiler because I'm not sure about this, but everything the narrative has led us to believe so far, we started off with the spirit of our dead dad in a pendant around our neck. Then we went and explored around in the world, saw the gas lamps were lit by dead souls. We got a copy of the paper. There's an op-ed about, is soul magic unethical? And now we find that the dead goblin who has contracted this horrible plague is a member or as a worker at a factory making animus lanterns. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some kind of payoff here.
Yeah. No, and I think one of the things that this does well is that it's not like wicked heavy-handed. Like it's
No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of heavy-handed. This is like literally environmental storytelling.
yeah, yeah. Like it's interesting to see like what was good writing earlier on, like with like the Infocom games. Like okay, like a Mind Forever Voyaging is like held as this gold standard, um, which apparently tastes like heart. Um, but one of the things that I didn't like about it was that it was like super heavy handed and super like this is what you should be thinking about this. Where like I think there's a few ways you could think about this. To be fair, you know, it's not saying explicitly this is bad. It's just saying this is what the world is, and you can take it or leave it. Okay, do we want to beat around the bush or just be straightforward?
Let's be straightforward. We're here to deliver news. Might as well not pussyfoot.
I have some bad news. The goblins look at each other. The atmosphere has grown abruptly heavier. Shit, Suaro says after a pause. What kind of bad news? This isn't the best place, you tell him. Is there a smoking room around here? Somewhere we'll have peace and quiet? Zoro licks his lips nervously. The smoking room. Yeah, come on. I'll show you. Come on, Korif, you two. Let's get this over with. You're brought to a little cubby hole of a room, past the curtain you have to stoop to go through. The odor of smoke lingers uncomfortably in the air, just on the edge of your nostrils. Zuaro sits in an armchair. Korif sits next to him. You take a seat opposite, going over your words in your mind.
Oh, jeez.
Direct, gentle, or professional?
Did you get far enough from Disco Elysium to do a mission like this?
No, I did not.
Ugh. It is, and I am prone to hyperbole, but not in this case, one of the most genuinely affecting narrative sequences in a game that I've ever played, or frankly, in a book that I've ever read. Do highly recommend. These folks seem nice. Let's be gentle.
It's about your brother, Redden. Zuaro leans forward. Why? What happened to him? It happened last night. You close your eyes. We were packing up for the day when he stumbled into our clinic. He was ill, dying. Zuaro's eyes widen. He wasn't sick at all when I saw him last. I don't know what happened either. You take a breath, force yourself to make eye contact. Dr. Kavala tried to stabilize him, but the affliction was unlike anything we'd ever known, and he... Oh, Primes. You look away. I'm sorry, you whisper. I'm so sorry. We couldn't save him. Zuaro falls silent. He nods, bites his lip, buries his head in his hands. Korif puts a hand on his shoulder. Well, says Zuaro at last, I shouldn't be surprised. It's bound to happen sooner or later. He was a bum. Fucking disgrace. He was going to catch something living the way he did. He hangs his head. But it hurts, he says, knowing that he's gone. You can ask me anything.
Yeah.
You can ask me anything, you mumble. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Zora looks down and is quiet. Redden, he says, about him. A pause, uncertain. Where is his body now? Ooh, do we tell him we're dissecting him?
Let's be honest. Good girl run. He's gonna be mad, but it's for the good of the people, Zoro.
We're We're dissecting his body, you tell him. Dr. Cavallo has invoked the Jus Medici. The what? The right of the doctor, you explain. The illness that took Redden's life, it's unlike anything we've encountered before. We don't know how contagious it is or who else might be at risk. We need to study the cadaver so that we can make sure it doesn't kill anyone else. Zuaro nods slowly. I guess that makes sense. He says, do what you need to do. Just promise me that you'll cremate him when this is all over. He clenches his fists. And make sure you find out what you're looking for. Promise it. Do we promise?
Yeah. Look, we're playing the hero in this game. That means we're going to solve the goddamn mystery.
I promise. On my badge, I promise it. Zuaro nods. Even his tears well up and glitter on his cheeks. He stands up and offers his hand. You shake on it. Good luck, he says. Make sure my brother didn't die in vain. He takes Korev's hand and nods at you in lieu of farewell. Come on, Korev. Let's talk to the forewoman about compassionate leave. You get up and make your way back to the mechanistry floor. Your work here is done. It's time to go. Well, do we want to look at anything?
Yeah, I want to look around this factory, like a lot. Okay, what do we got here? Assembly lines. We got things. Stations, workbenches, and shutters.
The conveyor belts are held together with paper, rubber, string, and faith. Let's look at things. You'll have to specify which one. Unfinished? Everything from kettles to kitchen sinks is assembled here. You said workbenches?
Yeah.
At each bench, a worker.
All right. Yeah, I didn't get the sense that we were gonna find anything here, but like the implementation again in this game is so solid and smooth and seamless that it seemed worth it.
Yeah, no, totally. The workers are a nameless mass of low-cost labor. They all wear the same dungarees and they all have the same numb look in their eyes. That's not good.
Kind of like the production area at Search Influence, huh?
Yeah. Hail Hydra. To the north. Is there anything else in here? Lines?
I don't think so.
Alright, we're back to the upper level of Rigger Town. What are we supposed to do at this point? It's getting dark out. The spires and factories are closing for the day. We have to report back to Dr. Cavallo's clinic.
All right, so I guess we just go home then. Do we know the way through the labyrinth now?
I think so. We could also take the bilious canal, which would drop us closer. I think, anyway. Right? Yeah, we could follow the canal and hopefully get through that way.
Yeah, let's take a different ride home.
Glittering waters roar alongside the footpath, running from north to south in an ever-restless torrent. North lies the Via Terminalis, and beyond it the mouth of the Channel Works. To the south, the path descends by steps and turns, ending in the algae and grime of Upper Rigger Town. A closed manhole is recessed into the footpath.
Open the manhole.
Never met a manhole I didn't want to open. The manhole is securely closed. Open. Manhole. The manhole won't budge. What do we have? Do we have anything? I don't think so.
Nah, I think we gotta just go home.
All right. And we're back to West Street. Okay. Let's go west. West.
Sure.
So we have our standard description. Wait a moment. Someone on the street has just drawn her sword and stalked into Dr. Cavala's clinic.
Oh boy. Okay, I do remember this. This is a very intense chase scene, if I remember correctly. Let's maybe save. Also, sorry, I didn't mean to step on it, but
No.
I remember dying to this about 10,000 motherfucking times.
Well, let's go to the west. Standard description. You rush through the door of the clinic, and she is there, walking slowly through the mortuary stairs. Her sword glints in the final rays of sunlight. Down. Oh, whoops, not yet. Coming, Dr. Cavallo calls. Hear the doctor's chair shift, her footfalls climbing the steps. The hooded stranger raises her sword. Stab stranger with scalpel?
Scalpel! Yes! Yes!
Okay, fine. Just stab stranger. You lunge at the assassin and her hand shoots out. Your momentum is arrested. There is a terrible pressure around your neck. The assassin has placed the tip of her sword at your throat. Her face catches the light, and she has so many teeth. And Dr. Cavallo comes up the stairs with a flying tackle that sends the assassin staggering into the waiting chairs. In 3 steps, she is reaching under the counter. But the assassin is quicker, her blade faster. Blood spatters on the floor. Dr. Cavallo cries out, a blur of motion, and there is a flash and thunder from the walls. The assassin clutches at her face. Dr. Cavallo raises the cutter and pulls the trigger again. Lightning arcs, misses by inches. Get the fuck out of my clinic.
Oh, Cavallo's a stone cold badass. I love it.
A rush of wind. The assassin is gone. You whirl around and see a dark shape disappearing into the night. Dr. Cavallo takes a deep breath, stifles a cry. Married, she says, my leg. You find her slumped on the floor, her chest rising and falling. A gash has been torn above her left knee. Her entire trouser leg is stained red. Are we going to be a companion, or are we going to be a badass in this moment?
I don't know. Well, let's go for a doctor. Cavallo's awesome. Let's go help her out.
Doctor, be quiet and help me. You rush to Dr. Cavallo's side. Even from a cursory examination, it's obvious that she needs help. And quickly. Hurry, she says through gritted teeth. There's a first aid bag behind the counter. This scene has lethal consequences. You may wish to save the game. I will save.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that from like a player perspective. Like, yes, please warn me if I haven't saved in a while. But like, from another perspective, it's like, I mean, if you didn't pick up that like we saved like 5 turns ago, just because we were like, assassin, we should probably save.
Well, not entirely. I said, I remember dying at this scene about 10,000 times. Let's save. I support it, frankly. I see what you mean. It is a little fourth wall breaking, and it does take you out of the narrative just a bit. But on the other, like, it's the slight harm of a narrative disruption versus the potential incredible annoyance of having to redo the entire goddamn game.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's also like, in, say, Resident Evil or whatever, like, you have the room right before the boss where it's like, why do they just have, like, a bunch of grenades laying around in this, like, you know, scientific lab? Like, this makes no sense. Just doing it, like, very explicitly. Alright. X counter. There it is. You grab the bag and wrest it open. Inside are a bellows, an aspirator, a stethoscope, a blood pressure gauge, a pair of scissors, a pair of tweezers, a bar of soap, a roll of tape, 5 vials containing saline, laudanum, smelling salts, aquavitae, and tincture of resins. There. An antiseptic dressing and an elastic bandage.
Get dressing! Get bandage!
Taken. Dr. Cavala's breathing is getting faster. Taking the bandage. There's no debris. Dr. Cavala's voice is shaking. Remember, apply pressure. She cries out as the dressing touches her wound. You force yourself to ignore her gas, press down hard, loop the bandage tight, and natron sigils flare on the fabric. The wound is sealed. Not bad, she croaks when she has the voice to speak. Can you move, you ask? Her face twitches. Primes, it hurts. I think my tendon's gone. You're still bleeding. I need to raise my leg above chest level, she finishes. I understand. Do it, Merritt. Prop it up on the chair.
Prop leg on chair, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. Prop leg on chair. First, putting down the first aid bag. You took the leg. Dr. grits her teeth and screws her eyes shut. Her blood-stained trousers stick to your gloves. Her leg feels heavy and fragile in your hands, like a porcelain model that'll shatter if you slip. Seconds pass before her leg finds its place, before you dare loosen your grip and let go. You let go. Dr. Cavallo breathes a sigh of relief. You exhale. Something in your expression makes Dr. Cavallo chuckle, and her laughter is infectious. The two of you, master and apprentice, you can't help but start laughing at the terror, the absurdity of the situation. The bleeding stopped, you say, wiping your hands on your apron. I think. Then we've done the best we could, Dr. Cavallo replies. You've done very well, Merritt. Very well. I'm afraid this evening would have gone rather worse without you. She smirks at her own gallows humor and looks morbidly satisfied.
I was just so. Ooh, is the doctor a romance option?
Let's find out. I was so worried for you, you say. I thought. I know. Dr. Cavallo's voice is soft. I know. Will you be safe here? You glance at the clinic door. The Luna is ascending, painting the Via Terminalis in the colors of moonlight.
Okay, what the hell is the Luna?
Next time we're outside, let's look at it.
Absolutely.
Because it's not the moon, is it? I mean, that obviously that's what it means, but like,
Yeah, is the implication they created an artificial moon after the darkening, whatever the hell that was? I love this world building. Like puzzle box narratives get a bad rap, deservedly so, generally. But like this kind of setup and like teasing out little parcels of information is yeah, that's how you build a great narrative. Come on.
Will you be safe here? I don't think she'll be coming back, if that's what you mean. She holds up her cutter. You may rest assured that I'm a very good shot. But what about your injury, you ask? Are you going to sleep on the floor? What if you need to relieve yourself? I don't know if I'm comfortable leaving you here. Perhaps I should. Boots clatter on cobble. Lanterns approach. The clinic door swings open, admitting a bustle of hard-eyed civil guards. Hello, the point man says. Dr. Kavala. The neighbors reported a scream, and we responded as soon as... What happened here? There's something oddly familiar about him. Horatio, you say? Married? He turns. It is him, the buffoon. What are you doing here? Is everything all right? You've arrived with commendable timing, remarks Dr. Kavala. I just chased a violent hoodlum out of my clinic, and Servitor Merid here has seen to my injuries. We're just on the topic of informing the authorities, but it seems that won't be necessary. It takes the better part of an hour to sort everything out with the Vigilace. You're interviewed by a bored-looking patrolman and given a steaming mug of tea to wash away the foul taste of the evening's events. An agreement is made. Dr. Cavallo will remain under Vigilace protection for the time being, with Horatio assigned as personal assistant bodyguard. And you're saying you have no idea who the assailant was? The interviewer is asking. Surely you must have made an enemy of someone. I'm telling you, I know this district. Dr. Cavallo takes another sip from her drinking straw. No one is fool enough to antagonize the only pro bono doctor in the city. Just ask Merid. The interviewer shoots an inquiring look. Do we admit that we almost got robbed?
Well, let's definitely not put the cops on the poor people. I would say something smells.
Something definitely smells about this incident. I can't imagine why someone would have it out for Dr. Kavala, and why now of all times. The doctor falls silent. The interviewer's eyes dart between you. Do you think it's connected to Raiden? She asks. To what happened last night? You hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Come on.
Yes, actually. It's been on my mind. First a man dies in our clinic, and then someone tries to kill you? You shake your head. It can't be a coincidence. It's too close to be. Intriguing. She searches your eyes. You didn't see anything today, did you, Merid? Anything that might provide a clue? What you're suggesting? Dr. Cavallo doesn't finish her sentence. She takes another sip of tea, looking greatly perturbed. Well, the interviewer finally says, this has all been very fascinating, but the hour is growing late, and we are no closer to discovering any answers. I shall recommend a better equipped team to join you tomorrow, Doctor. Until then... The guards leave the clinic, following a perfunctory sending off. You're left in the company of Dr. Cavallo and Horatio, who have settled in the waiting areas for the long haul. We're back in the clinic. Dr. Cavallo is recuperating in a makeshift bed, with Horatio keeping watch nearby. You catch yourself yawning. You didn't realize how tired you were. Perhaps you should head back home before it's too dark out.
Can we check the desk again?
All the
fair
notes
enough.
are there.
I thought like an updated autopsy report or something might be on there.
Nope, nothing new.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Diagrams? Yep, nothing new.
Oh, well. Horatio.
Look at Horatio. At least he seems to be making himself useful. Bless. Okay. Well, let's look at Cavallo while we're at it. She's taking her injury rather well, but then again, she was an army doctor. Little bits of plot here and there. Should we talk to anybody, or should we just be like, done, I'm out, I'm going to bed?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, let's talk to Horatio. Because I feel like having obviously ACAB, but having a friend on the force might help us out later.
You approach the makeshift bed, and Dr. Cavallo and Horatio turn to you. Speak to Horatio. Do we flirt? Do we ask? Do we insult?
Let's flirt. Come on. Horatio's he's a himbo. I love him.
Fancy seeing you here, Horatio. It's good to see you too, Married. His expression grows grave for a moment. When the call came in, I thought I was worried about you. Now that I'm here, I'm just glad you're okay. You can't help but smile. Even a buffoon like him can be sweet sometimes.
Okay, our internal monologue, I don't think we're a very good friend to this guy.
I mean, no, I think you're right. Let's just insult him. Get it over with.
Oh.
You punch Horatio's shoulder. Try not to mess anything up. He grins. I won't. How are you doing? You ask Horatio. I recall you saying you wanted to see some action in the Vigiles. He chuckles. I guess I'm eating my words now. Tonight was a lot more than I hoped for. Still, he nods. I feel like I'm making a difference here. Like, I'm doing something worthwhile. How often does anyone get to say that? I think the only thing that we need to know is what'll happen with the clinic.
Yeah.
What will happen with the clinic while you're indisposed, you ask? Dr. Cavallo lifts a hand. I'm obviously not in any condition to operate, she says wryly, but I'm not completely indisposed. I can still listen to patients, diagnose illnesses. The clinic will remain open for business, I think, until the time comes for my knee operation. I'll help Dr. Cavallo where I can, Horatio adds, since I'll be here and all.
Let's ask how Horatio's doing, and then go to bed.
How's Horatio doing? Your friend, isn't he? Dr. Cavallo raises an eyebrow. He hasn't broken anything, so I suppose that's a plus. Hey. But he's a good lad. She smiles, eager to learn and not afraid of hands-on work. I expect we'll get on swimmingly. Did you steal my man? I should be going, you say. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Married. Good night, Married. Good night, Dr. Horatio. All right. Down to the mortuary. There's nothing interesting in here. Okay. Just making sure I can't just like carry around.
Yeah, I think we just need to get back to her room and go to bed. Just carry it around a specimen jar, as you do.
Little brain in a jar. Dormitory block. You notice a single pigeon half hidden under the stairs. The gobliness and her golem must have missed it. Let's look at this fucking pigeon. You take a step closer. The pigeon twitches. Before your eyes, the pigeon begins to move like a delicate clockwork replica that has been wound up again. It rights itself in a flutter of feathers and coos, unmistakably alive. It looks around. It cocks its head in your direction. And with no more than a thought, it leaps, awing, and disappears into the glittering night sky. You touch your pendant.
Oh, I think it's leaps a wing.
Leaps a
like
wing.
aloft. I love that. Yeah, let's touch the pendant. Dad, help.
The weight of the pendant is comforting.
Hey, that's the name of the show.
Okay. I am making a request that we go to the pub. And we talk
Absolutely.
to the bartender. And we order a drink.
Yep.
Now, I think we need to get something off our mind.
Yeah, I think so.
Your mind wanders to the things you've seen, the things you've done.
Let's tell him about somebody killing Dr. Kavala. Maybe he can help.
Yeah. Someone almost killed Dr. Kavala tonight. The bartender sets down the glass he's polishing. He looks at you. It was so close, you say quietly. She didn't know. There was a mutant woman who'd come into the clinic wielding a sword, and they fought. There's blood on the floor, blood everywhere, and Dr. Kavala... You close your eyes. She almost didn't make it.
Yeah, fuck them cops. Oh.
The vigilantes were useless. And they didn't even come until everything was over. Dr. Kavala was there. She was going to die, and your voice cracks. And I had to save her. I took the first aid bag and put my hands on her leg and feel the tears welling up, the sting and panic and the terror engulfing you all over again. Can we keep it together? We have had one glass of spiced wine.
Let it out, girl. Let it all out.
You cry. The voices around you hush. People are staring at you. You feel their eyes boring into you. You feel vulnerable and you feel mortified. And you feel horribly, deeply sick inside. But no one says anything. No one ever does. Take a deep breath and wipe the tears from your cheeks. You take a fortifying swig from your glass. We're going to do better next time, or are we going to find whoever did this?
We shall become vengeance. We shall become the night.
I'm going to find whoever did this, you whisper. I don't know who they are, or what they want, or why they want to spread this death and suffering. But I will hunt them down, and I will find them. For Dr. Kavala and Horatio. For my parents who died so that I could live. I'm going to live, and I'm going to survive, and I'm going to find out what's really going on. Because after everything that happened, you look at your blood-stained gloves. I can't allow it to have happened in vain. Finish your drink. Down the last of your wine. Thanks for listening. Bartender takes the empty glass, and you feel a little better for having confided in him. Tip the bartender. See you soon.
What's the musician playing?
A song you can't remember the name of.
We're in a gas punk world. Just fucking pull up Shazam. Jeez.
Look, alright, that's like 4 pigeons worth of animus. Alright, yeah, let's get out of here.
Alright.
But
Bedtime.
I do love that. So, like, that... just that little mechanic to be like, what does this character think right now? Like, I think that's just a cool little, like, yeah. Let me fit in a monologue here. Up to the dormitory room. Go to bed. You change out of your clothes and curl up beneath the sheets, but sleep does not come easily. You close your eyes and drift in that listless limbo between wakefulness and slumber. A clockwork clicking echoes in your mind behind your eyelids, like a promise you've forgotten and cannot remember. You barely notice when the world melts away, when it dissolves, fades, becomes a haze of images and memories. Your last thought before you fall asleep is a quiet realization. The clicking in your mind is the sound of teeth.
I'm sure everything's going to be much better in the morning.
Yeah, it's just teeth. Don't worry. I think this is a perfect time to hit save at the earliest convenience.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It is getting a little late, but next time we've gotten the exposition out of the way, we will try to be a little less digressive. Ha!
No, we won't. Less aggressive. A knocking at the door jolts you awake. Married? Comes Horatio's voice. Save. Perfect time to save.
Hey! Alright, well, good times. Good plague and murder-filled times.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have a dumb himbo boyfriend. We have a hyper-competent boss. We have,
a gold-eaten NPC sidekick.
Yeah. We need to check in on that dude next time we go down there.
I hope he's okay. Alright, and on that note, it is 11 p.m. my time. It is midnight on the East Coast. I'm gonna call it a damn night.
It is. Thank you, as always, for coming out and being you.
And as always, good night, good luck, and don't forget to zizzy.
Yeah. Let's find someone for me myself to raid. Oh man, he is still playing King's Quest. Yeah, I'll watch somebody play King's Quest. Raid Taco Adventure. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Jerem.
Thank you, my frere. I will see you next week and talk to you earlier.
Yep. Talk to you. Bye.
Godspeed.